Hi everyone, I have the best treat for you today because I am here with Nilofer Merchant, who is the author of this incredible book, The Power of Onlyness, Make Your Wild Ideas Mighty Enough to Dent the World. And this book, I'm not kidding you, is life-changing. Unbelievable work, Nilofer.
Thank you.
Okay, so for everyone watching today, I want you to explain the concept of onlyness. What is onlyness? Where did it come from?
So first of all, onlyness is how we all add value in the world. I'll tell you the background of the word.
Yes.
And so onlyness, each of us stands in a spot in the world only you stand in, a function of your history and experience, visions and hopes. From that place is where we get to add value, but for thousands of years, a whole bunch of our onlys didn't count because we get screened out based on the power and status of the person who has the idea. So now in a distributed networked world, you can actually scale those ideas by finding the other people who care about the same thing as you and not having to fit into hierarchy, not having to fit into how society currently works.
So everybody matters, and it's only you are the person that stands in your place.
Exactly. So it points out that 7.5 billion of us could actually have ideas to contribute to the economy in small ways and big. And the question is, how can we tap into it?
I love it. So tell me, I know in the book, one of the things that I loved were the stories. You had all of these stories of incredible people who've tapped into their onlyness. Give me a story to put it into context for everyone.
Yeah. So Kimberly Bryant was an engineer, had gone to Vanderbilt, worked at DuPont, and had 20 plus years of experience in tech when she saw that her daughter, who was learning how to code at one of the summer camps in California, was getting treated a lot like her. And she was super frustrated because when Kim was growing up in tech, she always thought, well, if I make it through, the situation will change. And in fact, one of the stories she shared was when she got introduced by her manager to the team she joined. She got introduced as a twofer. Like with Kimberly Bryant, we get a twofer. And in that case, what he was pointing out was Kimberly's otherness, in this case being a Black woman in tech. And really not celebrating, I know, isn't that awful? And not celebrating her onlyness, right? Which is what are her passions and joys and things that she actually wants to come help us build. And so Kim always thought, well, gosh, just the fact that I'm here, the situation will change. But it didn't. Because the research says if you're the only one, you will almost always figure out how to fit into that current context.
You'll assimilate into that experience.
In order to survive, just the hierarchy of needs in your brain.
Yes.
Belonging beats ideas. And so what you'll do is you'll give up yourself, right? And so Kimberly now, fast forward 20 years, her daughter's going to summer cutting camp and getting treated exactly the same. And getting disregarded for being different. And she thinks, this has got to change. And so she gathers up some kids around the kitchen table and starts designing curriculum and borrowing computers and teaching these girls to code. And at some point, she gets asked, 2 years goes by and she's trying to name the program because it's now more happening. And she's really struggling with the name. And somebody says, well, if what you're doing is teaching Black girls to code, why not call it that? Black girls
just
code.
own it.
And own it. But the problem is that for a lot of American society, Black has been deemed as less than. And so Kim had this real opportunity, and this is how you claim your onlyness, to claim back even something that someone else has deemed marginal, if it's meaningful for you,
right,
and from which you draw strength and capacity, then it's the thing that you get to, say, this is the thing I care about. So it's that, if it's the spot in the world only you stand, it's also what do you stand for?
Oh, I absolutely love that story. And I think about it in the context, of course, as all people do, from my spot in the world, right? Here I am, and I need to find my onlyness. And I was wondering if you have any tips for those of us here who don't necessarily know our onlyness yet. We haven't been able to identify it. Can you help us? What's something that we could do?
So Kim's story, one of the things that she actually did was told me some of the background.
Yes.
She had fought for apartheid. She'd grown up in Memphis and found the civil rights issue had informed her. And so what was interesting about all that is your life experience and history and experience informs who you are, but also your visions and hopes, right?
Yes.
And by the way, Kim has already trained 10,000 girls to code,
Amazing.
Which is amazing. And she wouldn't have done it if she hadn't figured out what mattered to her. So one trick is to figure out, the thing is when what matters to us is so intuitive in a way, so we kind of take it for granted.
Right.
But it's like a light bulb above our head. And every time we walk in the room is actually changed by our presence. And so sometimes you can ask your friends, hey, what is it you seem to notice I always care about? And because it's the color the room is in for you. So if you're color above your head is turmeric orange. When you walk into a room, you look at the world through that lens.
Right.
But other people can reflect back to you, hey, Carrie, when you leave the room, turmeric orange leaves with you, right? And the stuff that you really care about, and help you, therefore, to kind of reclaim what you do care about.
See, I love that. I love the concept of asking friends because you're so in it. You're so in your own space, you don't realize. I love that concept.
And when friends can see and appreciate what it is you care about, they can also help you to
they can help you
manifest it.
find it. It's unbelievable. Get this today, right now. Run, don't walk.